know not whether God will have it so for some displeasing service that I've done, that in his secret doom out of my blood he'll breed revengement and a scourge for me. But thou dost, in thy passages of life, make me believe thou art only marked for the hot vengeance and rod of heaven to punish my mistreadings. Tell me else, could such low, inordinate desires, such poor, such bare, such lewd, such mean attempts, such barren pleasures, rude society, as thou art matched withal and grafted to, accompany the greatness of thy blood, and hold their level with their princely heart?
So please your majesty, I would I could with all such offenses quit such offenses as clear as I can well excuse myself of many I am charged with all. Yet such extenuation let me beg, as in reproof of many tales devised, which oft the ears of greatness needs must hear from smiling pickthanks and base newsmongers. I may, for some things true, where my youth have wandered faulty and irregular, find pardon on my true submission.
God pardon thee! Yet let me wonder, Harry, at thy affections, which do hold a wing quite from the flight of all thy ancestors. Thy place in council thou hast rudely lost, which by thy younger brother is supplied, and art almost an alien to the hearts of all the courts and princes of my blood. The hope and expectation of thy time is ruined, and the soul of every man prophetically do forethink thy fall. Had I so lavish of my presence been, so common hackneyed in the eyes of men, stale and cheap to vulgar company, opinion that did help me to the crown, had still kept loyal to possession, and left me in reputeless banishment, a fellow of no mark nor likelihood. By being seldom seen, I could not stir, but like a comet I was wondered at. Then men would tell their children, this is he. Others would say, where? Which is Bolingbroke? And I stole all courtesy from heaven, and dressed myself in such humility that I did pluck allegiance from men's hearts. Loud shouts and salutations from their mouths, even in the presence of the crowned king. Thus did I keep my person fresh and new, my presence like a robe pontifical, never seen but wondered at. So my state, seldom but sumptuous, showed like a feast, and won by rareness such solemnity. Skipping king? Oh, he ambled up and down with shallow gestures and rash bavin wits, soon kindled and soon burnt, carded his state, mingled his royalty with capering fools, had his great name profaned with their scorns, and gave his countenance against his name to laugh at gibing boys and stand the push of every beardless vain comparative. Grew a companion to the common streets, and fiefed himself to popularity, that being daily swallowed in men's eyes, they surfeited with honey and began to loathe the taste of sweetness, whereof a little more than a little is by much too much. So when he had occasion to be seen, he was but as a cuckoo is in June, heard not regarded, seen but with such eyes as, sick and blunted with community, afford no extraordinary gaze such as is bent on sun-like majesty when it shines seldom in admiring eyes, but rather drowsed, hung their eyelids down, slept in his face, and rendered such aspect as cloudy men used to their adversaries, being with his presence glutted, gorged, and full. And in that very line, Harry, standest thou. For thou hast lost thy princely privilege through vile participation. Not an eye is but a weary of thy sight, save mine, which hath desired to see thee more. And now doth that I would not have it do make blind itself with foolish tenderness.
I shall hereafter, my thrice gracious lord, be more myself.
For all the world as thou art to this hour, was Richard when I from France set foot at Ravensburg. And even as I was then, is Percy now. Now, by my scepter and my soul to boot, yet more worthy interest to the state than thou, the shadow of succession. For of no right, nor color like to right. He doth fill fields with harness in the realm, turns head against the lion's armored jaw, and being no more in debt to years than thou, leads ancient lords and reverend bishops on to bloody battles and bruising arms. Thrice has this Hotspur, Mars in swaddling clothes, this infant warrior in his enterprises, discomfited great Douglas, taken him once, enlarged him, made a friend of him, to fill the mouth of deep defiance up, and shake the peace and safety of our throne. And what say you to this? Percy, Northumberland, the Archbishop's Grace of York, Douglas, Mortimer, capitulate against us in our up. But wherefore do I tell these news to thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, which art my nearest and dearest enemies? Thou that art like enough through vassal fear, base inclination, and the start of spleen to fight against me under Percy's pay, to dog his heels, curtsy at his frowns, to show how much thou art degenerate.
Do not think it so. You shall not find it so. And God forgive them that have so swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head. And in the closing of some glorious day, be bold to tell you that I am your son! But I shall wear a garment all of blood, and stain my favors in a bloody mass, which, washed away, shall scour my shames with it. And that will be the day, whene'er it lights, that this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet. For every honor sitting on his helm, would they were multitudes, and on my crest my shames redoubled. For the time will come when I will make this northern youth exchange his glorious deeds for my indignities. Percy is but my factor, good my lord, to engross of glorious deeds on my behalf. And I will call him to such strict account, that he will render every glory up, yea, even the slightest worship of his time, or I will tear the reckoning from his heart. This in the name of God I promise here, the which if he be pleased I shall perform, may salve the long-grown wounds of my intemperance. If not, the end of life cancels all bands, and I will die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this vow.
100,000 rebels die with this. Thou shalt have charge and sovereign trust herein. Now, Blunt, thy looks are full of speed.
So hath the business that I come to speak of. Lord Mortimer of Scotland has sent word that Douglas and the English rebels met the 11th of this month at Shrewsbury. A fearful and a mighty head they are, if promises be kept on every hand, as ever sorted in this state.
The Earl of Westmoreland set forth today, with him my son, John of Lancaster, for this advertisement is 5 days old. On Wednesday next, Harry, you shall march. And on Thursday, we ourselves will march. Our meeting place is Bridge North. But Harry, you will march through Gloucestershire. By all accounts, business being valued in some 12 days hence, our general forces at Bridge North shall meet. Well, our hands are full of business. Let's away. Advantage feeds him fat while men delay.
Bardolph, am I not fallen away since our last action? Do I not bake? Do I not dwindle? Does my skin hang like an old lady's loose gown? I'm withered like an old apple, John. I'll repent. Doing this company has been the spoil of me.
Sir John, you are so fretful you cannot live long.
Well, I'll amend thy life and I'll amend thy face. I'm as virtuous as any man giveth. Virtuous enough. Swore a little. Diced no more than 7 times a week. Visited a bawdy house once in a quarter of an hour. Lived in good compass, but now I'm all out of sorts, out of all compass.
Why, you are so fat, Sir John, that you must needs be out of all compass, out of all reasonable compass, Sir John.
Amend thy face, and I'll amend my life.
Why, Sir John, my face does you no harm.
Oh, I make as good a use of it as a death's head or a memento mori. Why, when I look upon thy face, I think of hellfire and dives that lived in purple, standing there in their robes, burning, burning.
Blood my face were in your belly.
Oh, God of mercy, so I should be sure to be heartburned. How now, Dame Partlet the hen? Hast thou inquired as to who picked my pocket?
What do you think, Sir John? Do you think I keep thieves in my house? I have inquired, I have searched, so has my husband. Man by man, boy by boy, servant by servant. The tithe of an heir was never lost in my house before.
Oh, you lie, hostess. I'll be sworn my pocket was picked. Oh, go, you are a woman, go.
No, I defy thee, God's light. I was never called so in my own house before.
Oh, go to, I know you well enough.
No, you do not know me, Sir John. I know you, Sir John. You owe me money, Sir John, and now you pick a quarrel to beguile me of it? I have bought you a dozen of shirts to your back.
Oh, doubtless, filthy doubtless. I have given them to bakers' wives. They will make boulders of them.
Oh, now as I am a true woman, Holland of 8 shillings an hour. Oh, you owe me money here besides, Sir John, for your diet and your by-drinkings and money lent you. 24 pounds.
What? He had his part of it. Let him pay.
He, alas, he is poor yet nothing.
How poor? Look upon his face. What call you rich? Let them coin his nose. Let them coin his cheeks. I'll not pay another denier. I have lost a seal ring of my grandfather's worth 40 marks.
Jesu, I have heard the prince tell him I know not how oft that ring was copper.
Oh, the prince is a jack, a sneaker. Why, I would cudgel him if he were here and say... Oh, hell! What, is the wind in that door?
My lord, I pray you hear me.
Oh, listen to me. Let him alone and listen to me.
What sayest thou, Jack?
Well, the other night, I fell asleep behind the arras here, and my pocket was picked. Why, this house is turned bawdy house. They pick pockets.
What didst thou lose, Jack?
Well, if thou wouldst believe me, 3 or 4 bonds worth £40 apiece, and a seal ring of my grandfather's.
A trifle, some 8-penny matter.
So I told him, my lord, and I said I heard your grace say so. And my lord, he speaks most vilely of you, like the foul-mouthed man that he is. And he said he would cudgel you.
What? He did not.
There's neither faith, truth, nor womanhood in me else.
There's no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune. Oh, go, you thing, go.
Say, what thing? What thing?
What thing? Why, a thing to thank God on.
I am no thing to thank God on. I would thou should know it. I am an honest man's wife, and setting thy knighthood aside, thou art a knave to call me so.
Setting thy womanhood aside, thou art a beast to say otherwise.
Say, what beast?
What beast? Why, an otter.
An otter, Sir John. Why an otter?
Why, she's neither fish nor flesh. No man knows where to have her.
Thou art an unjust man in saying so. Thou or any man knows where to have me, thou knave thou.
Thou speakest true, hostess, and he slanders thee most grossly.
Oh, so he doth you, my lord, and said this other day you ought him £1,000.
Still wrong. Do I owe you £1,000?
£1,000, Hal! 1,000,000! Thy love is worth 1,000,000. Thou owest me thy love.
Nay, my lord, he called you Jack, and said he would conjure you.
Oh, did I, Bardolph?
Indeed, Sir John, you said so.
Well, if he would say my ring were copper.
I say 'tis copper. Dare thou be so good as thy word now?
Well, as thou art man, thou knowest I dare. As thou art prince, well, I fear thee like I fear the roaring of a lion's whelp.
And why not the lion?
Well, the king is to be feared as the lion. Dost thou think I'll fear thee as I fear thy father? Oh, pray and I do, my girdle break.
Well, and if it did, how thy guts would fall about thy knees. That's hurrah. There's no room for faith, truth, nor honesty in this bosom of thine. It is all filled up with guts and midriff. Charge an honest woman with picking thy pocket? By the whoreson and boss, impudent rascal. If there were anything in thy pockets else but tavern reckonings, memorandums of bawdy houses, oh, and one poor penny length of sugar candy to make thee long-winded. If there were any other accoutrements in thy pockets, but these I am a villain. But no, you will not pocket up wrong. You will stand to it. Art thou not ashamed?
Dost thou hear, Hal? In the state of innocency, Adam fell. Now, what could poor Jack Falstaff do in the days of villainy? I mean, I have more flesh than any other man, therefore more frailty. You confess, then? You picked my pocket?
So it appears by the story.
Well, hostess, I forgive thee. Go make breakfast. Love thy husband, and to thy servants, cherish thy guests. Thou seest I am as tractable to any honest reason as any man. I am pacified still. Go to, make breakfast. Ah! Now, Hal, to the news at court. How was the robbery answered?
Oh, my sweet thief, I must still play good angel to thee. The money is paid back again.
Oh, I do not like that paying back. 'Tis a double labor.
I'm good friends with my father and may do anything.
Well, rob us the exchequer the first thing thou dost, and do it with unwashed hands.
Do, my lord.
I have procured thee, Jack, a charge of foot.
Oh, I would it had been of horse.
Bardolph,
My lord?
go bear this letter to my brother John, Lord John of Lancaster, and this to my cousin Westmoreland. Now, Peter, to horse. Thou and I have 30 miles to ride yet ere dinner time. And Jack, meet me tomorrow in the Temple Hall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There shalt thou learn thy charge and receive money for the furniture thereof. The land is burning. Percy stands on high, and either we or they must lower lie.
Rare words. Brave world. Come, my hostess, my breakfast. Ah, I would this tavern were my drum.
Well said, my noble Scot. If speaking truth in this fine age were not thought flattery, such attribution should the Douglas have, as not a soldier of this season's stamp should go so general current through the world. By God, I cannot flatter. I do defy the tongues of soothers, but a braver place in my heart's love hath no man than yourself. Nay, task me to my word. Approve me, Lord.
Thou art the king of honor. No man so potent breathes upon this ground, but I will beard him.
Do so, and 'tis well. What letters hast thou there?
These letters come from your father.
Letters from him. Why comes he not himself?
He cannot come, my lord. He is grievous sick.
Zoons. How has he the leisure to be sick in such a justling time? Who leads his power?
His letters bear his mind, my lord, not I.
I prithee tell me, doth he keep his bed?
4 days ere I set forth, and at my departure thence he was much feared by his physicians.
I would the state of time had first been whole ere he by sickness had been visited. His health was never better worth than now.
Sick now? Droop now? This sickness doth infect the very lifeblood of our enterprises. For as he writes, there is no quailing now, because the king is certainly possessed of all our purposes. What say you to it?
Your father's sickness is a maim to us.
Perilous gash, a varied limb lopped off. And yet in faith it is not. His present want seems more than we should find it. Were it good, to set the exact wealth of all our states, all in one cast, to set so rich a main on the nice hazard of one doubtful hour, it were not good. But therein should we read the very limit and the soul of hope, the very list, the very utmost bound of all our fortunes.
Faith, and so we should. Where now remains a sweet reversion, we may boldly spend upon the hope of what is to come in. There's a comfort of retirement that lives in this.
A rendezvous, a home to fly unto, if that the devil and mischance look big upon the maidenhead of our affairs.
But yet I would he had been here. The quality and hair of our attempt brooks no division. It will be thought by some who know not why he is away that wisdom, loyalty, mere dislike of our proceedings have kept the Earl from hence. Your father's absence draws a curtain that shows a sort of fear to the ignorant before not dreamt
You
of.
strain too far. I rather of his absence make this use. It lends a luster and more great opinion, a larger dare to our great enterprises than if the Earl were here. For men must think, if we without his help can make a head to push against a kingdom, with his help we shall o'erturn it topsy-turvy down. Yet all goes well, yet all our joints are whole.
As heart can think, there's not such a word spoken of in Scotland as this term of fear.
My cousin Vernon, welcome by my soul.
Pray God my news be worth a welcome, Lord. The Earl of Westmoreland, 7,000 strong, is marching hitherwards. With him, Prince John.
No harm. What more?
Further, I have learned the king himself, in person, is set forth, or hitherwards intended speedily, with strong and mighty preparation.
He shall be welcome too. Where is his son? The nimble-footed madcap Prince of Wales, and his comrades that daft the world aside and bid it pass.
All furnished, all in arms, all plumed like ostriches that with the wind baited like eagles having lately bathed, glittering in golden coats like images, as full of spirit as the month of May, and gorgeous as the sun at midsummer, wanton as youthful goats, wild as young bulls. I saw young Harry with his beaver on, his cuisses on his thighs, gallantly armed, rise from the ground like feathered Mercury, and vaulted into his seat with such ease as if an angel dropped down from the clouds, to turn and wind a fiery Pegasus, and witch the world with noble horsemanship.
No more, no more. Worse than the sun in March, this praise doth nourish hate youth. Let them come. They come like sacrifices in their trim, and to the fire-eyed maid of smoky war, all hot and bleeding, will we offer them. The mailed Mars shall on his altar sit, up to the ears in blood. I am on fire! To hear this rich reprisal is so nigh, and yet not ours. Come, let me taste my horse! That is to bear me like a thunderbolt against the bosom of the Prince of Wales. Harry to Harry shall, hot horse to horse meet, and ne'er part to one drop down a corpse. Oh, the Glendower were come.
There is more news. I learned in Worcester as I rode along, he cannot draw his power this 14 days.
Aye, that's the worst tiding I hear of yet.
Aye, by my faith, that bears a frosty sound.
What may the king's whole battle reach unto?
To 30,000.
40, let it be. My father and Glendower being both away, the power of us may serve so great a day. Come, let us take a muster speedily. Doomsday is near. Die all. Die merrily.
Talk not of dying. I'm out of fear of death, and death's hand this past half year.
Bardolph, get thee before the Coventry. Fill me a bottle with sack. The soldiers will march through tonight. We'll to Cofield Sutton.
Will you give me money, Captain?
Lay out, lay out.
This bottle makes an angel.
And if it do, take it for thy labor. And if it make 20, take them all. I'll answer the coinage. Now, bid Lieutenant Peto meet me at Town's End.
I will, Captain. Farewell.
If I be not ashamed of my soldiers, I am a South Skirnick. I have misused the king's press damnably. I have got, in exchange of 150 soldiers, some 300-odd pound. My whole charge consists of ancients and slaves as ragged as Lazarus in the painted cloth, with the dogs do lick at his sores. And they never were soldiers. Discarded, unjust serving men, revolted tapsters, younger sons of younger brothers, ostlers' trade fallen, the cankers of a calm world and a long peace. The eye has never seen such scarecrows. I'll not march through Coventry with them, that's flat. And they walk wide betwixt the legs, as if they had gyves on. Well, indeed, I got most of them out of prison. And there's not a shirt and a half in my whole company. And the half shirt is 2 napkins tacked together and thrown over the shoulder like a herald's coat without sleeves. And as far as the shirt goes, wow. The truth be told, stolen from an old host, St. Albans, or was it the red-nosed innkeeper of Daventry, huh? Well, that's all one now. They'll find linen enough on every hedge.
How now, blown Jack?
Oh, how now,
How
man
now?
wag? What the devil dost thou do in Warwickshire? And my good lord of Westmoreland, I thought your honor had been at Shrewsbury.
Faith, Sir John, 'tis more than time that I were there, and you too. But my powers are there already. The king looks for us all, I could tell you. We must away this night.
No, never fear me. I'm as vigilant as a cat to steal cream.
I think to steal cream indeed, for thy theft hath already made thee butter. But come, John, whose fellows are these that come after?
Mine, Hal, mine.
I have never seen such pitiful rascals.
Food for powder. Food for powder. They'll fill a pit as well as better. Mortal men. Mortal men.
Aye, but Sir John, methinks they are exceedingly poor and bare, too beggarly.
As for their poverty, I know not where they had that. But as for their bareness, I am sure they'd never learn that of me.
No, not unless you call 3 fingers on the ribs bare. But Sirrah, make haste. Percy is already in the field.
Is the king in camp?
He is, Sir John. I fear we stay too long.
Well, to the latter end of a fray and the beginning of a feast. Fitz a dull fighter and a keen guest.
Fight with him tonight.
It may not be.
You give him then the advantage.
Not a whit.
Why say so? Looks enough for supply.
So do we.
Is it certain? Ours is doubtful.
Good cousin, be advised. Stir not tonight.
Do not, my lord.
You do not counsel well. You speak it out of fear and a cold heart.
Do me no slander, Douglas. By my life, and I dare well maintain it with my life. If well-respected honor bid me on, I hold as little counsel with weak fear as you, my lord, or any Scot that this day lives. Let it be seen tomorrow in the battle which of us fears.
Yea, or tonight.
Content?
Tonight, I say.
Come, it may not be. I wonder much, being men of such great leading as you are, that you foresee not what impediments drag back our expedition. Certain horse of my cousin Vernon's are not yet come up. Your Uncle Worcester's horse came but today, and now their pride and mettle is asleep, their courage with hard labor tame and dull, that not a horse is half the half of himself.
So are the horses of the enemy in general journey baited and brought low. The better part of ours are full of rest.
The number of the king exceedeth ours. For God's sake, cousin, stay till all come in.
I come with gracious offers from the king, if you vouchsafe me hearing and respect.
Welcome, Sir Walter Blunt, and would to God you were of our determination. Some of us love you well, and even though some envy your great deservings and good name, because you are not of our quality, but stand against us like an enemy.
And God defend, but so I will stand so long as out of limit and true rule you stand against anointed majesty. But to my charge, The king hath sent to know the nature of your griefs, and whereupon you conjure from the breast of civil peace such bold hostility, teaching his duteous land audacious cruelty. If that the king hath any way your good deserts forgot, which he confesseth to be manifold, he bids you name your griefs, and with all speed you shall have your desires with interest, and pardon absolute for yourself and those herein misled by your suggestion.
The king is kind, and well we know the king knows at what time to promise, when to pay. My father and my uncle and myself did give him that same royalty he wears. And when he was not 26 strong, sick in the world's regard, wretched and low, a poor unminded outlaw, sneaking home, my father gave him welcome to the shore. And when he heard him swear, he came but to be Duke of Lancaster, to sue his livery and beg his peace with tears of innocency and terms of zeal. My father, in kind heart and pity moved, swore him assistance, and performed it too. Now when the lords and barons of the realm perceived Northumberland did lean to him, the more and less came in his cap and knee. And now, forsooth, he takes on him to reform some certain edicts and some straight decrees that lie too heavy on the commonwealth, cries out upon abuses, seems to weep over his country's wrongs, and by this face, the seeming brow of justice, he did win the hearts of all that he did angle for. Proceeded further, cut me off the heads of all the favorites that the absent king in deputation left behind him there when he was personal in his Irish war.
I came not to hear this.
Then to the point. In short time after, he deposed the king. Soon after that, deprived him of his life, and in the neck of that, tasked the whole state. To make that worse, suffered his kinsman March, who as if every owner were well placed, indeed his king, to be engaged in Wales, and there without ransom to lie forfeited, disgraced me in my happy victory, sought to entrap me by intelligence, rated my uncle from the council board, and rage dismissed my father from the court, broke oath on oath, committed wrong on wrong, and in conclusion drove us to seek out this head of safety, and withal to pry into his title, the which we find too indirect for long continuance.
Shall I return this answer to the king?
No, Sir Walter, we'll withdraw a while. Go to the king. Let there be in pawn some surety for a safe return again. And in the morning early my uncle shall bring him our purposes, and so farewell.
I would you would accept of grace and love.
And maybe so we shall.
Pray God you do.
How bloodily the sun doth peer over yon bosky hill. The day looks pale at his distemperature.
The southern wind doth play the trumpet to his purposes, and by the hollow whistling in the leaves foretells a tempest and a blustery day.
Let it with the loser sympathize, for nothing shall seem foul to those that win. How now, my lord of Worcester, 'tis not well you and I should meet under such terms as now we meet. You have deceived our trust, made us doff our easy robes of peace to crush our old limbs in ungentle steel. This is not good, my lord, this is not good. What say you to it? Will you again unknit this churlish knot of all abhorrent war, and move in that obedient orb where you did give a fair and natural light? No more be an exhaled meteor, a prodigy of fear and a portent of broached mischief to the unborn times.
Hear me, my liege. For mine own part, I could be well content to entertain the lag end of my life in quiet hours, for I do protest, I've not sought the day of this dislike.
You have not sought it. How comes it then?
Rebellion lay in his way, and he found it.
Peace to it, peace. It pleased your majesty to turn your looks of favor from myself and all our house. And yet I must remember you. We were the first and dearest of your friends. For you, my staff of office, did I break in Richard's time,
and posted day and night to meet you on the way, and kissed your hand when yet you were in place and in account nothing as strong and fortunate as I. It was myself, my brother and his son, who brought you home and boldly did outdare the dangers of the time. And you swore an oath. And you did swear that oath at Doncaster, that you did nothing purposed against the state, and claim no further than your new fallen right, the seat of Gaunt, dukedom of Lancaster. To this we swore our aid. But in short space it rained down fortune, showering on your head, and such a flood of greatness fell on you, what with our help, what with an absent king, what with the injuries of a wanton time, the seeming sufferances that you had borne, and the contrarious winds that kept the king so long in his unlucky Irish war that all in England did repute him dead. And from this swarm of fair advantages, you took occasion to be quickly wooed, to grip the general sway into your hand, forget your oath to us at Doncaster, and being fed by us, you used us so, as that ungentle hall, the cuckoo's bird, useth the sparrow, did oppress our nest, and grew by our feeding to so great a bulk that even our love durst not come near your sight for fear of swallowing. But with nimble wing we were enforced for safety's sake to fly away and raise this present head, by which we stand opposed by such means as you yourself have forged against yourself, by unkind usage, dangerous countenance, and violation of all faith and troth sworn to us in your younger enterprise.
These things indeed you articulate, proclaimed at market crosses, read in churches, to face the garment of rebellion with some fine color that may please the eye of fickle changelings and poor discontents, which gape and rub the elbows at the news of hurly-burly innovation. And never yet did insurrection want such watercolors to paint his cause. No moody beggars, starving for a time of pell-mell havoc and confusion.
In both your armies as many a soul shall pay full dear for this encounter if once they join in trial. Tell your nephew, the Prince of Wales, to join with all the world in praise of Harry Percy. By my hopes, this enterprise set off his head. I do not think a braver gentleman, more active valiant, or more valiant young, is now alive to grace this latter age with noble deeds. For my part, I may speak it to my shame. I have a truant been to chivalry, and so, I hear, he doth account me too. Yet, this before my father's majesty, I am content that he shall take the arms of his great name and estimation, and will, to save the blood on either side, try fortune with him in a single fight.
And, Prince of Wales, so dare we venture thee, albeit considerations infinite do make against it. No, Worcester, no. We love our people well, even those we love that are misled upon your cousin's part. And will they take the offer of our grace, both he and they and you, and every man shall be my friend again, and I'll be his. So tell your cousin, send me word what he will do, but if he will not yield, rebuke and dread correction wait on us, and they shall do their office. We will not now be troubled with reply. We offer fair, take it advisedly, and be gone.
Will not be accepted on my life. The Douglas and the Hotspur are both together confident against the world in arms.
Hence, therefore, every leader to his charge, for on their answer we will set on them. And may God befriend us, for our cause is just.
How? If thou seest me down in battle, bestride me so, 'tis a point of friendship.
Nothing but a colossus can do thee that friendship. Say thy prayers, and farewell.
I would 'twere bedtime, and all's well.
Why? Thou owest God a debt.
'Tis not due yet. I would be loath to pay him before his day. What need I call on him who calls not on me? But 'tis no matter. Honor pricks me on. But what if honor pricked me off before I come on? What then? Can honor set to an arm? No. To a leg? No. Take away the grief of a wound? No. Honor then has no skill in surgery? No. What is honor? A word. What is that word, honor? What is that honor? Air, trim reckoning. Does he who died a Wednesday, does he feel it? No. Does he hear it? No. It is insensible, yea, to the dead. But does it live with the living? No. Why not? Detraction will not suffer it. Therefore, I'll have none of it. Honor is a mere scutcheon. And so ends my catechism.
Oh, no. My nephew must not learn, Sir Richard, of the liberal and kind offer of the king.
'Twere best he did.
Then are we all undone. It is not possible. It cannot be. The king would keep his word in loving us. He will suspect us still and find an occasion to punish this offense and other faults. Suspicion. All our lives will be stuck full of eyes, for treason is but trusted like the fox. We will be fed like oxen in the stall, the more cherished, still the nearer death. My nephew's trespass may be well forgot. It hath the excuse of youth and heat of blood, an adopted name of privilege, hair-brained Hotspur, governed by a spleen. All his offenses live on my head, and on his father's. We did train him on. And his corruption being ta'en from us, we as the spring of all must pay for all. Therefore, do not let Harry know in any case of the offer of the king.
Deliver what you will. I'll say 'tis so. Here is your cousin.
My uncle has returned. Deliver my lord of Westmoreland. Uncle, what news?
The king will bid you battle presently.
Defy him by the Lord of Westmoreland.
Lord Douglas, go you and tell him so.
Marry, you shall, and very willingly.
There is no seeming mercy in the king.
Did you beg any? God forbid.
No, I told him gently of our grievances, of his oath-breaking, which he mended thus, by now forswearing that he is forsworn. He will call us traitors and rebels, and scourge with haughty arms that hateful name in us.
Arm, gentlemen, to arms! For I have thrown a brave defiance in King Henry's seat, and Westmoreland thus engaged it back, but which cannot help but bring him quickly on.
The Prince of Wales stepped before the king, and good cousin challenged you to single fight.
Oh, would the quarrel lay upon our heads, and that no man might draw short breath today but I and Harry Monmouth. Tell me, how showed his tasking? Seemed it in contempt?
No, by my soul. I never in my life did hear a challenge urged more modestly. Unless a brother should, a brother dare to gentle exercise and proof of arms. He gave you all the duties of a man, trimmed up your praises with a princely tongue, spoke to your deservings like a chronicle, making you ever better than his praise, by still dispraising praise valued in you. And, which became him like a prince indeed, he made a blushing cytle of himself, and chid his truant youth with such of grace, as if he'd mastered there a double spirit of teaching and of learning instantly. There did he pause. But let me tell the world, if he outlive the envy of this day, England did never owe so sweet a hope, so much misconstrued in his wantonness.
Cousin, I think thou art enamored on his folly. Never did I hear of any prince so wild a libertine. Yet be he as he will, yet once ere night I shall embrace him with a soldier's arm, that he shall shrink under my courtesy. Arm with speed, and fellows, soldiers, friends, Better consider what you have to do than I, that have not well the gift of tongue, can lift your blood up with persuasion. Oh, gentlemen, the time of life is short. To spend that shortness basely were too long, if life did ride upon a dial's point, still ending at the arrival of an hour. And if we live to tread on kings! If die brave death when princes die with us! Now for our consciences, the arms are fair, when the intent of bearing them is just.
My lord, my lord, my lord, prepare! The king comes apace.
I thank him that he cuts me from my tale, for I profess not talking, only this. Let each man do his best, and here I draw a sword whose temper I intend to stain with the best blood that I can meet withal in the adventure of this perilous day. Now, Percy, Esperance, and set on! Sound all the lofty instruments of war, and by that music let us all embrace, for heaven to earth, some of us never shall a second time do such a courtesy.
What is thy name that in the battle thus thou crosseth me? What honors dost thou seek upon my head?
I am the Douglas. And I do seek thee in battle thus, because some tell me thou art a king.
They tell thee true.
The Lord of Stafford hath here today, both thy likeness. For instead of thee, King Harry, this sword hath ended him, and so it shall thee. Unless thou yield thee as my prisoner.
I was not born to yield to that proud Scot. Then you will find a king who will avenge Lord Stafford's death.
Oh, Douglas, hast thou fought at home, then thus I'd never triumphed on a Scot.
All's won, all's done. Here breathless lies the king.
Where?
Here.
This Douglas, no, this gallant knight, oh, this man was blunt. What? Semblably furnished like the king himself.
Oh, a fool go with thy soul where it goes. A borrowed title has been bought too dear. Why didst thou tell me thou wert a king?
The king hath many marching in his coats.
Oh, now, by my sword, I will kill all his coats. I will murder his wardrobe piece by piece until I meet this king.
Come, let's away. Our soldiers stand full fairly for the day.
I have escaped London shot-free, but I fear the shot here. There's no scoring but upon the pate. But soft. Who are you? Sir Walter Blunt. Here's honor for you. There's no vanity here. Oh, God, I'm as hot as molten lead and as heavy, too. God, keep the lead out of me. I need no more weight than mine own bowels. I have led my ragamuffins to where they have been peppered. There lives but 3 of my 150 charge, and they are at town's end to beg during life. But, soft, who goes here?
What? Stand so idle here. I prithee, lend me thy sword. Many a noble man lies stark and stiff under the hopes of vaunting enemies whose deaths are yet unrevenged. Lend me thy sword.
Give me leave to rest a while. No one has done
such deeds since Turk Gregory in arms as I have done today. I have paid Percy, I have made him sure.
He is indeed, and living to kill thee. I prithee lend me thy sword.
Well, if Percy be alive, I swear by God I'll not give thee thy sword. But take my pistol if thou wilt.
What? Is it in the case?
No, 'tis hot, 'tis hot. There's that will sack a city.
Is it a time to jest and dally now?
If Percy come in my way, I'll pierce him. But if I come into his willingly, then let him make a carbonado of me. I like not such grinning honor as Sir Walter hath. Give me life. And if so, and honor comes my way, there's an end.
Harry, I beseech thee, draw thyself. The bleed is too much. Sir John, go with him.
Not I, my lord, lest I did bleed too.
I pray your majesty make up, lest your retirement do amaze your friends.
I will do so. Westmoreland, take him to his tent.
Come, my lord.
Leave me, my lord. I do not need your help. And God forbid a shallow scratch should drive the Prince of Wales from such a field as this, where rebels' arms, triumph and massacre, and stained nobility lies trodden on.
We breathe too long. Come, cousin Westmoreland, our duty this way lies. For God's sake, come!
Oh, John, I did not think thee lord of such a spirit. Before I did love thee as a brother, John, but now I do respect thee as my soul.
I saw him hold Lord Percy to the point with lustier maintenance than I'd look for in such an ungrown warrior.
Oh, this boy lends mettle to us all. My lord.
Another king! They grow like Hydra's heads. I am the Douglas, fatal to all those that wear those colors on them. What art thou that counterfeitest the person of a king?
The king himself, Douglas. Who grieves at heart so many of his shadows thou hast met, and not the very king. Have two sons seek Percy and thyself about the field. But seeing thou fallest on me so luckily, I shall essay thee to defend thyself!
I fear you are another counterfeit. And yet, in faith, thou bearest thee like a king. But mine, I'm sure thou art, whoe'er thou be. And thus, I win thee.
Hold up thy head, vile Scot! Art thou like never to hold it up again? It is the Prince of Wales who threatens thee, who never promiseth but that he means to pay. Cheerly, my lord. How fares your grace?
Stay, breathe a while. Thou hast reclaimed thy lost opinion, and showed thou hast some tenderest of my life with this fair rescue thou hast brought me.
They did me too much wrong that ever did say I hungered for thy blood. If it were so, I might have left alone the insulting hand of Douglas o'er you, which would have been as swift in your end as all the poisonous potions in the world, and so save the treacherous labor of your son.
Make up to Clifton, out to Sir Nicholas Gawsey.
Prime mistake not thou art Harry Monmouth.
Thou speaks as if I would deny my name.
My name is Harry Percy.
Well then, I see a very valiant rebel of the name. I am the Prince of Wales, and think not, Percy, to share with me in glory any more. 2 stars keep not their motion in one sphere, nor can one England brook a double reign of Harry Percy and the Prince of Wales.
How to it? You'll find no voice play
No challenge, Harry,
here.
for now the hour has come to end the one of us, and would to God thy name in arms for now is great as mine.
I'll make it greater ere I part from thee, and all the budding honors on thy crest I'll crop to make a garland for my head.
I can no longer brook thy vanity. Oh, Harry, thou hast robbed me of my youth. I better brook the loss of brittle life than those proud titles thou hast won of me. They wound my thoughts worse than sword my flesh. Oh, my thoughts the slave of life, and my time fool, and time that takes survey of this great world. Must have a son. Oh, I can prophesy. But that the earthy and cold hand of death rests on my tongue, no person, thou art dust and food.
For worms, brave Percy. Fare thee well, great heart. Oh, ill-weaved ambition, how much thou art shrunk! But that when this body did contain a spirit, a kingdom for it was too small a bound, but now 2 paces of the vilest earth is room enough. This earth that bears thee dead bears not alive so stout a gentleman. If thou wert sensible of courtesies, I would not make so great a show of zeal. But let my favors hide thy mangled face, and on thy behalf I'll take some pains for doing thee these rites of tenderness. Adieu, and take thy praise with thee to heaven. Thy ignominy sleep with thee in the grave, but not remembered in thy epitaph. What old acquaintance? Could not all this flesh keep in a little life? Poor Jack. Could have better spared a better man. Oh, I should have a heavy miss of thee if I were much in love with vanity. Death hath not struck so fat a deer, though many dearer in this bloody fray. Embowelled will I see thee by and by. Till then, in blood by noble Percy lie.
Embowelled. If thou embowel me today, I'll give thee leave to powder and eat me too tomorrow. So it's time to counterfeit. When that hot termagant Scot had paid me Scot and lot too. I lie. I'm no counterfeit. To die is to counterfeit, for he is the counterfeit of a man who hath not the life of a man. But the counterfeit dying whereby a man liveth is to be no counterfeit, but the true and perfect image of life indeed. The better part of valor is discretion, the better part of which I have saved my life. I fear this gunpowder Percy, though he be dead. What if he counterfeit and rise? I'm afraid he would prove to be the better counterfeit. I'll make him sure. And I'll say I killed him. Nothing confutes me but eyes, and nobody sees me. Therefore, sirrah, with a new wound in your thigh, now come with me.
Now, brother John, full bravely hast thou sheathed thy maiden sword.
But Salt, whom have we here? Did you not tell me this fat man was dead?
I did, and saw thee breathless and bleeding on the ground. Art thou alive? Or is it fantasy that plays upon our sight? I prithee speak. We will not trust our eyes without our ears. Thou art not what thou seemst.
No, now that's certain. I am not a double man. But if I be not Jack Falstaff, then I am a Jack. Here is your person. Let him that reward valor, reward me so. If not, let him kill the next Percy himself. I look to be Earl or Duke.
Percy, I did kill myself, and saw thee dead.
Oh, how the world is given to lying. I was down and out of breath, and so was he. We rose together and fought a long hour by Shrewsbury clock. Now, if valor not be honored, then so be it. But if I had not killed this man to my dying day, I will swear it, and if he get up and he prove otherwise, I'll make him eat a piece of my sword.
That is the strangest tale that ever I heard.
This is the strangest fellow, John. Come, carry your luggage nobly on your back. For my part, if a lie may do thee grace, I'll gild it with the happiest terms I have. The day is ours. Come, John, to the heights of the field, to see who among our friends are living and who are dead.
I'll follow for reward. For he that rewards me, God reward him. I'll grow great, and I'll purge and leave sack and live as a nobleman should do.
Thus ever did rebellion find rebuke. Ill-spirited Worcester. Did not we send grace, pardon, and terms of love to all of you? Would you turn our offers contrary? Misuse the tenor of thy kinsman's trust? 3 knights upon our party slain today. 3 noblemen, and many a creature else, had been alive this hour! If like a Christian, thou wert truly born, betwixt our armies, true intelligence.
What I have done, my safety urged me to. And I accept this fortune patiently, since not to be avoided, it falls on me.
Bear Worcester to the death. And Vernon, too. Other offenders we will pause upon. How goes the field?
The noble Douglas, when he saw the fortunes of the day, much turned against him. The noble Percy slain, and all his men, upon the foot of fear, fled with the rest. At my tent the Douglas is, and I beseech your majesty I may dispose of him.
With all my heart.
Then, to you, brother John, this honor do I bestow. Go to the Douglas, deliver him up to his pleasure, ransomless and free. His valor shown upon our crest today hath taught us how to cherish valiant deeds, even in the bosom of our adversaries.
I thank your grace for this high courtesy.
This then remains, we divide our powers. Son John, Lord of Lancaster, with my cousin Westmoreland, towards York with your dearest speed, to meet with Northumberland and the prelates group who are busily at arms. Myself and you, young son Harry, will towards Wales to fight with Glendower and the Earl of March. Rebellion in this land shall lose its sway, meeting the check of such another day. And since this business so fair is done, let us not leave till all our own be won.